Even if you've prepared your kids for the fact that your marriage is over and that one of you will be moving out of your marital home into a new place, you're probably still worried that when the day comes it will feel strange and painful. And it might. But there are ways to soften the blow for children. And the better they feel, the better you'll feel. In this video, I'll share my 13 tips for easing the pain when a parent moves out. Hi, I'm Kate Scharff. I'm a psychotherapist, a family mediator, and a divorce consultant with about 30 years' experience helping individuals and families survive and thrive through separation and divorce. It's right up there with having to tell your children about the split, another anxiety-producing moment in your life as a divorcing parent. It's the day one of you moves out. Whether you're staying or going, you're worried about your kids. Even if you know lots of divorced families who have managed this, it's still really hard to imagine how your own children will cope with the transition to living in two homes. But there are steps you can take to ensure that your little ones, and your not so little ones if you've got teenagers, will make a good adjustment. So here are my 13 tips for easing the pain when a parent moves out. Number 1, minimize the unexpected. This surprises a lot of parents, but a child's first question about divorce is almost never why. They might get to the tough questions later, older ones definitely will, but the first thing kids want is basic information. They want reassurance about concrete things. They want to know if they will have to give up anything important, their friends, their school, their extracurricular activities. They want to know who will live where and when they'll see both of you. They'll often ask about important holidays. They'll ask what they'll do for Christmas that year. And they want to know that you're not holding anything back, that all the bad news is out on the table. You won't have all the answers, but before a move out, give them all the information you can. Offer them a roadmap of what to expect, at least in the short term, including a move out date. A lot of parents ask me how much advance notice to give their children before a move out, and it's a good question, but it's not an exact science. Aim to give your kids enough time that they can wrap their minds around things, but not so much that they'll be tortured by anticipation for what feels like ever. There's no magic number, but I think usually about 2 weeks is about right, maybe less for very young children. Number 2, don't take your kids house hunting. Many well-intentioned parents think that by including their kids in the search for new digs, they can give them a sense of control and maybe replace some of the sadness with excitement. I totally get that, but actually, divorce-related house shopping scares and sometimes depresses kids. And it also sets them up for potential disappointment if they get attached to a particular house or apartment that you don't choose or don't get for whatever reason. This is true even for teenagers and young adults. So even if your child asks to be involved or presses to be involved from the beginning, make this first decision on your own. Later, you can involve your kids and all have fun together making more kid-appropriate choices like bedroom decor and whether to buy an Xbox or a Wii U. Number 3, be thoughtful about stuff. Most children are really sensitive to changes in their environments, especially when a divorce is going on, and they all develop quirky attachments to objects. So give your kids a heads up before removing visible or significant items from the marital home. If you take something big, like a couch or even a coffee table, work with your co-parent to replace or rearrange things so the house doesn't look like it has holes in it or feel sad and empty. Especially if you're moving into temporary space, which many people do. You may not want to divide all your belongings right away, but if you're the parent moving out, do take enough meaningful things, some family photos, a few favorite toys, to create a sense of familiarity in the new place. If a child has an emotional tie to a sacred item, like a security blanket or a stuffed animal, let them carry it back and forth. It will comfort them. But don't expect them to track it themselves during the transitions. It's a total pain in the neck, but it's your job. In the meantime, you probably won't be successful, but do what you can to encourage your child to get attached to something that doesn't have to travel. If you've ever had to deal with a kid who can't go to bed because their lovey is nowhere to be found, then you know the true meaning of parental panic. And please do not pack boxes or move things out of the house while the kids are there, even if they're asleep, because they're probably not asleep. And even if they are asleep, they'll feel pretty upset in the morning, and they may actually have trouble feeling safe to go to sleep the next night. Number 4, preset the scene at the new place, but don't obsess. Before you bring your kids to the new house or apartment, lay in the basics. If time or money is tight, and they probably are, they usually are, don't feel you have to have the place fully furnished. Just focus on one comfortable hangout space, so a couch, a TV, a soft rug, and an eating area, and the bedrooms, just beds, dressers, and such. Stock the fridge with stuff you know your kids like, and get bathroom supplies and some clothing staples and a few playtime activities. That's fine, that's enough. Later on, you can fill in the rest. But take care not to neglect your own personal space. It'll be really hard for your kids to leave you if they think that your bedroom looks like something out of a monastery. Number 5, consider a gradual transition. Your kids will fare best if you don't push for too much too fast. Teenagers will tell you what they're ready for, and they may be ready for your new schedule, whatever it's going to be, pretty much right away. But especially if your kids are young and they haven't spent many nights away from home yet, consider a few daytime stints before graduating to overnights. There's no set formula for the ramp up. Factor in your children's ages and temperaments, and remain open to slowing down or speeding up if they seem to need it. If you and your ex disagree on the pacing, try getting input from a mental health professional with the right expertise. Now, I do have to throw in here, and this is really important, make sure both of you have consulted a trusted attorney before either of you moves out of the house or agrees to any temporary or permanent time-sharing arrangement with your children. Even if you agree on things, it's really important that you do this, because there are legal implications to decisions that you may not be able to anticipate. Number 6, let your kids show off the new place if you can handle it. If tensions aren't too high between you and your ex or your future ex, encourage your kids to give the other parent a tour of the new second home. Feeling they have both of your blessings will help them adjust. But if even one of you can't do this without becoming really upset, skip it. You can always do it later or not do it later. Number 7, be patient and watch your words. Even with the support of both of you, it'll probably take a while for your kids to feel they have 2 equally important residences rather than a main house and a satellite. This is normal. So resist the urge to correct them when they reflexively refer to the marital house as home. A comment like, "Hey, this is your home too," may shame or irritate them, especially if you use the tone that I just used. Instead, lead by example. Replace "I'm going to take you home now" with "It's time to go back to Brentwood Street." Give it time. Your kids' language will naturally shift as they adjust to their new normal. Oh, and by the way, if you're the one staying in the marital home, you can help with this. Language really matters. It might stick in your craw, especially if you didn't initiate the divorce or don't want it, but saying you're going to your other house this weekend rather than you're going to your mom's makes kids feel supported and emotionally free to settle in. Number 8, maintain social continuity. School-age kids will resist spending time with you if it disrupts their social lives. If you're the parent who moves, make it a high priority, especially early on, to make sure that your kids get to their soccer practices, their play dates, their birthday parties, all the normal stuff. Even if you have to do a lot of schlepping, do it, and do it without complaining, because it's not your kid's fault that logistics just got harder. And extend invitations. This might not feel natural at first, especially if you haven't historically been the lead parent on that sort of thing, but do it, because for an 8-year-old, nothing makes a house a home like one of those really annoying sleepover pizza parties. Number 9, your kids can't have too many friends. It's great when divorced parents can live close to each other, but that's not always possible. Helping your kids to sustain their old relationships should not stop you from helping them to form new ones in their new neighborhood. Your kids will come to think of the new place as home a whole lot faster if they have a buddy on the block. 10, maintain day-to-day consistency when reasonable and possible. You won't get perfect symmetry here, but especially with young children, aim to coordinate with your ex on fundamental routines, like mealtimes and bedtimes. If your kids are older and you adults get along well, it's great if you can align your ideas about higher level stuff like homework and screen time and allowance and curfews. Even if they grumble, your children will feel safer if their parents are in sync. But if the two of you have fundamental parenting disagreements, don't get caught in a fruitless attempt to convert each other. If you couldn't do it while you were married, you definitely can't do it now. So again, consider consulting a mental health expert, a child or family therapist with divorce expertise, a divorce coach, or maybe a parenting coordinator. That's someone who helps divorced parents improve communication and resolve their disputes. But if, in the end, you just simply disagree, for example, on whether or not there should be any weekday TV time, just let it go. Even married parents disagree a lot. Rather than banging your head against the wall, accept that on most day-to-day things, you can only control what happens at your house. Kids can actually easily learn to adjust to different sets of expectations and even benefit from them, but not if they have to hear you fighting or disparaging each other's parenting styles. That's just the worst of both worlds. Number 11, be compassionate when your kids are homesick. It's natural for your kids to have moments of missing their other parent, and they need to be able to tell you about it. But it can really sting when they do. I've been there. If your kid talks about wishing that they were with their other parent or says that they want to go home, try not to get angry with a comment like, "You saw Dad 2 hours ago," or defensive, "What am I, chopped liver?" or retaliatory, "Fine, get your coat." Calm statements like, "I know you miss Mommy. It stinks that you can't be with both of us at the same time," or "You've had to deal with lots of changes. It'll take time for this place to feel like home the way your other house does," will reassure your kids that you understand and that you accept their feelings, but also that you have faith in their ability to adjust. 12, soft pedal goodbye. Your kids are facing a lot of years chock full of moments of separation, and so are you. So now's the time to make goodbyes as easy and frankly as unremarkable as possible. The points of transition when one of you picks them up or drops them off are often hard for kids, especially in the beginning. So even if you're upset, which you probably will be for a while, strive to be as matter-of-fact as you can, even if you have to fake it a little bit. Let your kids know that you'll have them in mind, because you always have them in mind, but that you won't pine away in their absence. A clingy, tearful, "I'll miss you, call me whenever you want, I love you to the moon and back," will heighten their anxiety and actually make it tougher for them to do what they need to do. A breezy, "Have fun this weekend, I'll see you Monday," will give your kids a solid launch, and actually it's extra helpful if you can send the message that you'll be having fun too. So if you can manage it, throw in a, "I'll be with Aunt Susan this weekend at the beach, and I'll bring you back some of those beautiful shells that you love." Finally, 13, it is not a contest. If you're moving out, you might worry that your ex has the home field advantage. If you're staying put, you might worry that the new place has more allure for your children. Relax. Condo or mansion, if yours is a warm, nurturing environment in which their practical and psychological needs are met, at least most of the time, your kids will want to be there. After all, your house is not your children's emotional home. You are. I hope you found this video helpful. I invite you to subscribe to this channel. That way you'll hear from me when I've posted a new video or blog post. And speaking of blog posts, please visit my blog, divorceonplanetearth.com. There's more stuff there about divorce and relationships and the other subjects that I like to think about and write about. You can follow me on Facebook at Divorce for Humans, that's divorce number 4 humans, or on Twitter. And if there's a divorce or parenting or relationship issue that you have on your mind that I haven't posted about yet, tweet me or drop me a line at info@divorceonplanetearth.com. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.